in the end, the Arizona Cardinals, are going to pay their quarterback. They've already locked up Steve Keim, the general manager. They've already locked up Cliff Kingsbury, his head coach, who hand-selected him out of Oklahoma. So it's a no-brainer. He's going to get paid. There's no big deal. Here's the problem that you face, though. You lose Kristen Kirk. Yeah, you signed A.J. Green back, who's now on a one-year deal, but you missed your vertical stretch guy in Kristen Kirk, who's now in Jacksonville, who went there to get the bag. What is this team actually going to look like? Is it going to be the same Arizona Cardinal offense that we seen a year ago or 2 years ago when Kyler Murray was healthy, or are we going to see something totally different?
Key, here's my question I have to you as a star wide receiver in this game.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, that is. I didn't say 5-star. When you, like Patrick Peterson, who's a legend with the Cardinals, right? When he comes out and he says, no disrespect to Arizona Cardinals, but I feel like they don't put the team in a position to be successful year after year, and Kyler Murray's not going to sit around and wait for that, right? And then Kyler Murray responds and says on Twitter, quote tweet, I want to win Super Bowls with the Cardinals. AZ is home. You say the word immaturity. The talent is undeniable. I get that. I love the talent. You can question whether he's durable or not, right? Because he's always getting hurt. But when you see that fluctuation of wiping my social media board clean and then come back, now I want a beer because does that worry you at all? Does that translate to the field about being able to lead grown-ass men, people who have demonstrative personalities like yourself?
No, I don't think it worries me at all. His right tackle was on with us a month ago, and he talked about Kyler Murray's immaturity and about him being able to take the next step in his growth. And so when I look at that with Kyler Murray, I feel the same way. He's young, man. He's young, okay? And when you young, sometimes you do things, say things, especially in the social media world, that once you hit sin, you essentially can't take it back no matter what you do. And I think at a time when he looked up at the end of the season and on record things started to come out and leak out slowly about his personality and his locker room presence and all of the different things in Kyler Murray's situation, that he was ticked off. And he said to himself, man, I'm tired of them treating me this way, in the media, telling people certain things about me. And so in the end, he decided to say, you know what, bump this, I'm going to take it and do it this way. And then he realized when things calm down, because an emotional situation, when you have emotions and things at the end of the season, you just say stuff. You do stuff, you say stuff. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady abruptly retired at the end of the season after losing a playoff game. And then a couple months later, he's like, you know what, calming down period. I'm going to go back and play. That is what happens. Think about it, Jay, as in a locker room. When the game is over and you went 9 for 28 shooting and they run up to your locker, you're like, man, what are you doing in my locker? You say stuff.
But Key, it only feels like when you use Tom Brady's won so many Super Bowls. So if you're a Super Bowl champion, like what am I saying to you?
No. But I'm talking about the frustration
saying,
from a frustration standpoint where you lose in the fashion in which you lost to the Rams. Now all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with this anymore.
But Key, two things. Number one, Kelvin Beachum, his right tackle, was on the show. You referred to that.
Yes.
Number one, he is small. He does wear down. We've seen this now in multiple seasons. They are undefeated early. First half of the season, 7-0, 8-0, whatever it is, 6-0. And then he wears down. So that's an issue. Now, think, Key, about how bad it would have to be. And I think it's a great point. I really appreciate the point you make about how youth is wasted on the young in a way, right? You're just young and stupid. All young people are stupid, basically. It's amazing when they're not, right? They're immature, the whole thing.
A lot of old
get
people
that.
are stupid too.
But on the other hand, think of how bad it has to be behind the scenes for his right tackle to come on this show and express that he is immature. What a mess that has to be behind the scenes.
The whole Larry Fitzgerald situation, hearing from people around the organization, like the fact that he retired and some of the things that came out around, it's just, I sat up here and I fought for the Cardinals all year long. Like I was a big Cardinal fan, still am. And you always poo-pooed it. I'm just saying, that stuff makes me worry about Kyler
What about
Murray.
that, Key? You don't think it was a mess behind the scenes for Beachum to say that?
But Coach, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is he's young. And when you're young, it's going to be a mess behind the scenes. And I think Beachum realized that, and he's trying as a veteran tackle to put his arms around his quarterback and give him the benefit of the doubt. Just because it's bad behind the scenes, they're not all of a sudden going to move on from Kyler Murray. The front office isn't going to all of a sudden trade Kyler Murray they're not going to do that. They picked him for a reason. They re-signed the head coach for a reason to run this system with this quarterback. And yes, he's been hurt. That worries me. He is a small itty-bitty. That worries me. But I'm not the one who drafted him. I don't run the Arizona Cardinals. They're the ones who have to answer Kyler Murray and pay him and make that decision on what they want to give him long term. I'm just simply putting the facts out there as to why he may have felt a certain way early on in the process about his contract when he's looking up and he's seeing everybody else at his position get done at a certain time and not fully understanding you got to go through the draft. You got to go through free agency. Got to go through the offseason. Get to the summer. If Kyler Murray had stomped up and down and took his bottle and pacifier and ran home in the summer, I wouldn't have a problem with it. When he did it so early in the offseason, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, they're not going to pay you right now.
Yeah,
they're just not going to do
that.
it.
Like, sometimes it's as simple. The explanation is as simple as he's a young, immature human being who sees everyone getting paid. Well, why would he do it not strategic? You just have an emotional reaction.
Yeah,
boom, you grab
absolutely.
your phone, scrubbing your social media is as easy as pressing a button nowadays.
On top of them kind of leaking state. Okay.
Yeah.
So what they were
out,
doing,
exactly.
this is how their tactics went, Max, the Arizona Cardinals. Because we know already in our mind calculated, right, Jay? You know when in the locker room when it's time to get paid and the season is in the season. The season ain't even over. Players start saying, man, you get ready to get paid, dog. You get ready to get paid. Or the players start to say, man, they're going to have to turn in the bag. You were like in week 15, and you said, man, they're going to have to pay me as soon as the offseason is over. Now, all of a sudden, the front office starts to hear that.